This is the HELICOPRION, the newest dino added to ARK. As you're seeing this video, it has been added to ARK today. Now this new shark has a lot of new features that have been added, including it is about the size of a megalodon, but it has many new features that benefit quite literally everybody. It's not just a new dino, this thing can do it all. So to start it off, I'll show you a little overview of the dino, then I'll teach you how to tame it, tell you everything that you'll need to know about it, and of course how to use it. So first of all, here is how it looks. It is roughly the size of a megalodon. The tail extends quite a bit farther though, but about the same size. It has a nice saddle on here, kind of themed to a pirate ship kind of thing, with like a wheel on there. It has a little dodo as like its trophy on the front. It's got all kinds of stuff like little anchors, bones. It's got a ammonite on the back, which is one of the main purposes that this dino kind of is used for. It has a spine, or I don't know really what these are, tentacles or something. I think those are tentacles. Over here you have a little treasure chest and some spears on the side, as well as just some shark teeth. But yeah, definitely one of the coolest saddles in my honest opinion. Out of all of the saddles that we have for the newer dinos, one of the coolest. Yeah, then here is his mouth. Now his mouth is actually more useful than you think. Now as you can see here, he has a kind of saw in his mouth, and that saw is used for many very important features, which I will cover here in a minute. Now first of all, to tame one, you have to look up a ratfish. Now as you can see here, little ratfish treats. This is the food that is required to tame this new dino. It should be in game in your inventory. It might have been moved to the cooking pot when it's out. I'm not entirely sure, as this was recorded before the official release. But to craft it, you will need 10 ammonite bile, 4 tentacles from Tusos, and 6 giant bee honey. It's relatively simple-ish to get, the hardest one being the tentacles. The bile is also a little tricky to get, but if you have any underwater dino, it shouldn't be too difficult. Now these are the ammonites. These can be found pretty much anywhere on the ocean floor, and to kill them you can either use a hatchet or just a dino. And then here are the Tusos. Now these Tusos can also be found underwater. They're just giant squids, and they can be found literally all over the entire map, pretty much on every map. So they're a little trickier to kill. This is probably going to be your hardest thing to kill on this list of just items that you need, because it's such a powerful dino and you pretty much need a pretty strong dino to kill him. Now you can kill him with a couple megalodons, so it's not entirely like difficult, but just come prepared, I'll just say that, because you're not going to kill him with just an itchy. And then this is the beehive. Now this is the last thing that you're going to need to craft the treats. These can be found pretty much anywhere on redwoods trees, random rocks, and even just on the ground sometimes. But if you see these, just be careful, because they come with a bit of a punch. And by that I mean that queen bees and little worker bees are going to come out and try to kill you, and it hurts quite a bit. Now when harvested, you will get a good amount of honey. As you can see here, I collected 5 honey. So you'll receive 5 honey per thing. So I recommend kind of harvesting, I don't know, around 20 to 25 to get one of the helis, as you'll probably need about that much. Now the HELICOPRION officially releases today, which is the 20th, but let's be real, it actually still might get delayed last minute like most of their maps do. Now that does bring a lot of stress, and with stress comes anxiety, which is why Mitra 9 is here to help. Mitra 9 is a non-alcoholic supplement that quite literally makes you feel good. These drinks give you a high but without the impairment. They have a ton of great flavors, my favorite being root beer. If you're looking for a new drink to replace your coffee in the morning, Mitra is the way to go. Simply go to mitra9.com and use my code OUTCAST for 25% off your entire order. Now, back to the video. Now to craft a heli saddle, you will need 250 fiber, 75 metal ingots, and 400 hide. Now this can be crafted at level 91 and costs 50 engram points. It can only be crafted in a smithy, so you can't craft it in your inventory. Now this may change on release, but as of now it is still smithy. Now the HELICOPRION can only be found at deep depths underwater on most maps. Now the problem with this is, even though it says deep depths, I have found them a little bit higher up, so it is kind of hard to know exactly where they will spawn, but just go and look for, deep down. And also it is good to know that they are not aggressive, meaning it is not going to attack you when you go up to it. So yeah, as you can see here, here's your HELICOPRION. They are not aggressive at all. They will not bite you unless you hit them, so do not hit them. And how to tame them is a little tricky. So you will need to have an item that you get from a supply crate. You cannot have a crafted item. So for example, like this saddle was gotten from a drop. All you have to do is just drop it nearby and he will sniff it out. And as you can see, he's currently sniffing it out, and then he will go and take that item. Now once he eats it, instantly press E to get onto the HELICOPRION, and you will be sitting on the side of his fin. Now at the bottom it says wait for the HELICOPRION to become tired. Now one of the biggest things to have on you is the ratfish treats. If you do not have those, he will not allow you to tame. Now you have to hit buttons quickly. See, like I actually messed that up, and now he's probably gonna try to attack me, but okay, we're just spinning in circles. Yeah, so I accidentally messed up, so I'm gonna have to redo that, but you have to hit your buttons pretty quickly. So let me get out of aggro range fully. Okay, so once you are out of that aggro range, you have to go pretty far. It's not like somewhere short. You can go ahead and toss down another item, and then he will go ahead and restart the taming method. So he's gonna eat it, instantly hop on him quickly before he starts just kind of running away. And then you have to wait for him to get tired. Now you'll see the taming effectiveness bar in the bottom right hand corner. Just always be aware that you have to hit buttons on your keyboard, or else he will kick you off very quickly. It's going to be random buttons, so it's going to kind of be hard to tell. Like that was spacebar, that was D, and he's going to do this for a good minute. So spacebar again, and he's basically just trying to kick you off of him. Now this is actually one of the coolest taming methods that I think I've seen for a dino, but I didn't know that this was how you tame him now, which is why I got the video a little bit mixed up. So yeah, there you go. Just keep hitting buttons. And the biggest thing about it is don't worry about hitting mesh or anything, because he's going to run into the mesh or get stuck. And if you get stuck, it kind of benefits you a little bit, but at the same time, not really. But yeah, so just keep hitting buttons until the last one tells you that he's ready to eat. Oh, I hit the wrong button again. So yeah, it's a little tricky to get that accurate. I'm going to try it one more time, but I'll just go ahead and skip over it. All right, and then as you can see there, the last one was for him to eat food, and now he is about halfway tamed. Now you're going to do the exact same thing over and over and over. So let's go ahead and toss out another item. He does not want the chest piece, or he's just not aggroed. Yeah, okay, he's not aggroed. So yeah, let's go ahead and toss out another item for him. Let's do the gilly. Now I don't think it really matters what you feed him. I think it just matters that you're feeding him something from a drop. Oh, okay, it might matter for effectiveness, but currently I'm not really seeing a big difference there. So I think you should be fine. Now this is the next wave of it, and for me it's gonna only probably be 2 waves of this, but depending on, you know, your tame level and all that, it's probably going to go up a good chunk more. So just be kind of prepared for that. And again, it's going to be very, very different. It's going to be extremely quick that you have to hit it. And yeah, it's a little more stressful than I thought, actually. I was shocked. I was sitting there like, oh, you're just hitting buttons. No, it's a little more stressful because you only have a couple seconds to hit the button, or else then you're kicked off of that dino. So it is a little worrying. Okay, and this should be, yep, there's my last one. Oh, he's going to need one more. Okay, and he's really close to being done. Now my effectiveness did go down slightly. I'm not really sure why, but it went down by 0.2%. Yep, there we go. And now he is tamed. So taming isn't terribly difficult, especially because he's not aggressive. If he was aggressive, it would definitely be a bit of a pain. I'll just say that. But yeah, so you put the saddle on him. Oh, some dinos are trying to attack him. And as you can see, you're good to go. So yeah, just like that, you have a heli. So honestly, not a terrible tame. Doesn't take too horribly long unless you're taming a 150 on official. That'll probably take a good minute. Just don't mess up and accidentally miss one of the buttons, because then you have to restart the entire tame or you lose your effectiveness. And restarting is going to be a pain. I mean, I had to restart it twice in this video, so yeah, just kind of keep a watch out for that. Also, a fun fact when taming, you have to be level 91. Which is actually kind of weird. I did not know that, but you cannot tame these guys unless you are level 91. So make sure that you are that level, otherwise it won't let you passive tame. But yeah, I think that's the part that's broken currently, is with the passive taming in the level, because I've tried it with different characters that are level 91. He does not want to tame, so I really don't know what's going on there. But yeah, anyways, here are the abilities. So here is your left click. Now left click is just your average bite animation, doesn't really do too much, but that's your main one. Now something underwater that's pretty cool is if you are swimming underwater and you look a different way quickly and hit the button, it turns you in that direction that you want to go, which is very, very helpful if you're ever stuck or there's a dino on your tail that you can't kill, because we all know that that's been aggravating, like with a Giga or something. It is very aggravating to try to kill something that is on your foot and you just can't hit him, especially like with a wyvern or something. But yeah, definitely a pretty awesome ability. I'm very, very happy that they have this. Now your next ability is the tail whip. Now this can be used by hitting right click on your mouse. As you can see, that does a tail whip. Now that tail whip can actually knock dinos unconscious. So let's go ahead and try and find a dino really quick and I'll show you what I mean. All right, so here is a Megalodon. Now let's just hit him. And as you can see, there's one hit and he is knocked out. Yep, he is completely knocked out. His menu is not popping up. What is going on? Oh, okay, he was not knocked out. He juked me. That was weird. He got stunned, I think. All right, now he's knocked out. So yeah, as you see, he is unconscious with what, 3 tail whips? That first one kind of tossed me off guard. I thought that he was knocked out, but I was like, he doesn't look knocked out. But yeah, that's your tail whip ability. It can knock dinos out underwater and actually on land too, but you gotta hit them in the right spot. It's a little tricky, but you can just do like that and hit them. But it does work. All right, so another cool ability, if you're on the surface and you hit C, your dino actually jumps out of the water. We'll do it again so you guys can see. Yeah, he does a full-on leap straight out of the water. It is honestly an amazing ability. This is what makes this dino one of the favorites for me. Like, this is one of my new favorite dinos. It's because of this ability. Absolutely awesome. I mean, I could do this all day long. Now you can even do like a little dive and try and just like run up, jump. It doesn't really work as well as I was thinking, but you can just dive straight back down. Now underwater, C doesn't really have an ability, I don't think. I'll try. Yeah, C does not have a ability. So if we do control, no ability there. X might be another one, nope. So those are your only abilities as far as I know. I don't think that there is anymore. Now I don't know if I covered this, but I'm gonna cover it again. The saddle is actually a smithy, so it is equal to an RG. So basically it's like the RG of the sea. You have tons of stuff in here. You can craft everything that is literally in a smithy. So very, very helpful dino to have. Now, probably one of the coolest abilities that the heli actually has is the ability to turn items into actual physical blueprints, which is crazy overpowered. So as you see here in your inventory, there is this thing called a success rate. Now this is currently sitting at 64%. It's going to be different based off of your dino level or just how your tame is turned out. But this is a 150 perfect tame with 64%. Now if you upgrade this rate, which does upgrade very, very slowly, it has a higher success rate of, let's say I put this chest BP in here and I convert it, it has a higher success rate of that actually turning into a blueprint. So basically 60% it's gonna go into a blueprint and 40% that the item just breaks and disappears and you lose it. So you're gonna wanna make sure that success rate is at 100 or as close to 100 as you can get. All right, so let's go ahead and level up his success rate and let's see how high that we actually can get it with fully maxed out stats. Here's the last two. So as you can see, the highest that I could get on here was 86.5%, which is pretty good. But just know, if you have an extremely overpowered blueprint that you get from a drop, your success rate is not going to be 100%. I'm sure if you can breed these guys and, you know, get their success rate, maybe a mutation there, if that's even possible, that will be at 100%, and then you can make items very, very easily. Now, something to also notice is that you can only turn items that you get from drops, and there's no crafted items. So if you craft something from a already existing blueprint, you cannot return it into a blueprint. It can only be items that are dropped out of a supply crate, out of a desert drop, out of cave drops, anything like that. So yeah, if it is crafted by a person and some loot that you get from a base, it's not going to work. So yeah, that's the biggest issue here, but let me show you how it works. So this is just a warning, it will kick you off your dino, so do this if you're in a safe area. So this is a 455 chest piece. Now we're gonna go ahead and down here, as you can see, convert blueprint, time to convert 1 minute. So go ahead and hit that, and then he will start to convert it. It is very, very loud. All right, so he has converted it. Now let's see if the success rate helped us here. Yes, it did. So it turned it into a blueprint, which is actually pretty insanely cheap. That is very cheap to craft, actually. Wow. 400 ingots, 127 fiber, and only 318 hide for a 455 armor. That's pretty good. So let's test it again, and you know, here I'll just start converting some other ones. And let's see if I can get it to fail for you guys. And also here at the bottom, the higher that the quality is of an item, the higher time that it takes to convert. Now, I don't know if the settings are going to be changed for official, but it could probably take, I'm kind of thinking it's probably going to be like 4 to 5 minutes for your average item, and potentially up to like 10 to 15 minutes for a pretty high blueprint. I think that's going to get changed on official. I might be wrong though. All right, so the next item just converted. Yep, it still made that. So let's just keep on converting. That item also converted. Let's convert this one. Yeah, okay, well, it converted all the items, but the success rate is almost 90%. So it's going to probably mess up 1 out of all 20 or 10 of these chess pieces, so that kind of does make sense. Now, one more thing that this guy has, he has a buff for the ammonites. So when you hold down H, as you can see, it says Divine Spiral. Now, this basically means that he can take no damage from the like ammonites, or just not damage, but that like the pheromone that gets stuck on you. So every time that you go ahead and kill those, they release a pheromone on you. Now, with these guys, he basically takes that pheromone and it cancels itself out, and not to mention he can also kill and harvest them much quicker and get a lot more resources than if you were to harvest it, I don't know, with a pickaxe or something. But yeah, that is about it for him. Pretty overpowered dino, actually one of the better dinos that we have received in a very, very long time. I'm very excited that they are finally officially adding this, because whenever I saw it first come out, it was pretty cool, but over the last couple years, he has really changed quite a bit. But yeah, anyways, that is it for today's video. Hopefully I was able to teach you everything that you needed to know about how to tame him and how to use him. But the HELICOPRION is officially coming to ARK today, as this video has released. Or it'll be coming out tomorrow. I'll probably put this out around midnight. So yeah, hopefully you guys are hyped for him. I know I am. And yeah, let's just pray that this dino keeps all of his abilities and is still very overpowered, and hope that ARK doesn't see, you know, the true power that this dino actually has. But yeah, anyways, thanks for watching.